I've been working in this Datastage, which is my primary ETL tool and data modeling since from the past 7 years. I'm here you to give you a training of Datastage. And before starting with this Datastage, which is an ETL tool, I would like to have some introduction. I would like to make you a roadmap in order to start with the Datastage, what exactly the roadmap will be consist of. What are the other prerequisites I need to know? We need to know about what is meant by a data warehouse and what is meant by data warehousing and what are the terms that are presenting in this data warehouse. To start with this, first I will be going with a small example. Suppose let us consider a retail store, a Walmart retail store. This retail store, at the end of day, after completion of the day, the top level CEO or the top level clients, they are expecting to generate a report. What are the sales that are happened this today? What are the sales that are happened yesterday? So that they can compare the sales, so that they can make some these are the sales that gone very nice. These are the sales that didn't go on very nice. So we need to improve this. So the main thing is we need to take the top concerned person should be in a position to take a spontaneous decision. How he is taking the spontaneous decision? So by seeing something and by analyzing something which will be given to some person, after analyzing is given, then he will be generating in the diagrammatic form. By seeing the diagrammatic form, we are saying that okay, this is the thing. So in the normal fashion, let us take that we will be seeing a daily news where the weather report is coming. The common person also can know by seeing the weather report. Oh, this is the place where there is a heavy rain. This is the place where there is a less rain. So everyone can take a spontaneous decision. How this is happening? So the spontaneous decision making for the business, for the organization, everything. How the backend process is going on. To start with this, the first concept is called as a data warehouse. We will be splitting the term into what is meant by a warehouse. A warehouse is nothing but a place where all goods will be stored. Like a car garage. If you say car garage, specifically all the cars will be stored there. Now, in the similar fashion, we will be considering a data warehouse. A data warehouse is nothing but a place where all the data will be stored. Here the concern point is there. In the real time, we need to work with something. How can we work? Is it data is a mandatory or not? Of course, data is a mandatory. So, in order to work with some particular concern, there is a data is very important here. So, a data warehouse is nothing but a place where all the data will be considered. Generally, I am saying it as all data will be placed there. Generally, in order to interact with the data, in order to store the data, what we will be using? A database or not? Yes. So, in a similar way, in just a normalized way, I am calling a warehouse. My data warehouse is nothing but a place where all different databases will be stored. Similarly, a car garage. What will be calling it as a warehouse? A warehouse is nothing but a place where all different things will be stored. If it is particular to godown, simply in our normal fashion, we can say it as a godown. So a data warehouse is also nothing but a place where all different databases are stored. Now there is a question. He is saying it's a place where all different databases are stored. But here the question is, why there is a need to store all different databases into one place? Why can't we have different location to different things? Why there is a required? And what is the helpful of storing all in a data warehouse? And third question is, how to get the information? So, in order to answer all these questions, we are digging into some more concepts. So, the roadmap here I will be saying is, what is a data warehouse? What is a data warehousing? And what is a OLAP? So, why the need to learn this all the data warehouse concepts? The final conclusion, what I told you, the main thing is to make a spontaneous decision making by seeing the reports. how he is generating the reports, how he is taking a spontaneous decision. So the backend process work will be started from the first step, which is called a data warehouse. So till now, these 2 minutes of discussion, what is meant by data warehouse is discussed. A data warehouse is nothing but a place where all different databases are stored. Okay, all different databases is nothing but a warehouse which all different data is stored. Now the question, why there is a need to store all different at one place? Why can't we take all different in another thing? So to answer that question, let me take a small example. Right. A customer named Jane Doe, who is a female with a bank account number 1045. She is married and she is addressed this thing. So the bank needs to retrieve this information. How it is retrieved? When I am a customer, when I am going to the SBI and I need some information, they are directly doing something and they are spontaneously giving something. How they are doing? So a different level of information level means when I am asked, when I am a customer, went to a bank and do something work in the bank, need to open an account. What it is doing? First a customer name, which will be retrieved from the customer information. So when you observe this, each level of individual information was stored in a different place. So checking account system. So in the account system we can check, oh, she is and she is a female. Okay, it was fine. And other thing, accounts in the banking account, whether it is a savings account or a current account, we can check from this level. And from this, each point of transactional data, each point of this transaction, account customer account details, and second one is bank account details, and third one is address details. All these three are consolidated and moved into one place, which is calling it as a my warehouse. So is it helpful to make a spontaneous decision making? If the question is complex, like I just said, we need to retrieve at the time level on the date. In this question, I am adding an extra information. Customer name, Joan Doe, who is a female, wants to open an account on the date 10th of August 2014. So here another one more thing it need to be retrieved. What is the other concept? From the time level table, we need to retrieve all the information and we need to load here. So in order to do some analysis, and in order to make a spontaneous decision making, we need to load the data into a data warehouse. So how these things are happening? So what is the purpose of loading the data to a data warehouse? Means whatever the heterogeneous, see I am specifying heterogeneous, whatever the heterogeneous data which is placing in the warehouse is coming from the each homogeneous system. So each homogeneous system, I can call it as a my source system. So in order to get this type of detail level information, in order to get a low level of information, okay, suppose instead of this I am saying a small example. Sorry, a Walmart CEO wants to have entire sales transactions happen on yesterday at the particular location, Hyderabad. Let me repeat the question. A Walmart CEO wants the entire sales transaction at the particular location, Hyderabad Walmart. Let us consider in Winterville, which is at US Winterville. So how he need to retrieve the information? So in order to grab all historical level information, all the history level data, is it required to store all the detail level information coming from different source systems, which I am calling it as homogeneous systems. So see in this example, I am saying it, a Walmart CEO wants to get a sales level data. So sales level, all the data should be collected from the source, which is calling my homogeneous system, and it should be placed here, a single database in a warehouse, call it as a warehouse. Next, he wants to have a particular date on yesterday's date. So each time level information, all the time level data can be stored here. So not only that, he wants the information on let us consider starting of January 2014. Can he track? Yes. So the purpose is to make a spontaneous decision making. How he is making the spontaneous decision making? So he is doing some analysis on this data, which is called as my heterogeneous data. So he is digging into it, he is doing some analysis, and he is retrieving the information. Now there is just a question for you. Okay, today's date. Let us take a small example to start with this. I have my ATM, and let me I went to a nearest ATM. When I am at the nearest ATM, what I will be doing? I will be making some transaction. Okay, let me start taking 500 rupees. Okay, it was fine. And again at the time after 11 morning 11 a.m. again I have done another transaction of 1000 rupees. Okay, and after at the end of the day, I want to know how much transaction I have done this today. So what I will be doing? I will be inserting my card into it. I will do my mini statement. In a mini statement, when you observe, there will be coming of available balance, total amount available, amount credited, debited, available balance, and date. So how it is taking the lowest level of detailed level information. So once a transaction was done, once I have made a transaction, that particular of time amount of data will be stored at a source. So for the second transaction, the previous data, which is calling it as my history data, will be put into my warehouse. And third data, so second and first will be pulled into my warehouse. So entire history level information will be stored in a one place, such that is it helpful for me to retrieve the information or not? Yes. So this is the reason we are loading the data to a data warehouse. So now the other concept is, okay, we got some idea on about of data warehouse. So in a simple, a data warehouse is nothing but a place where all different heterogeneous databases are stored. Why I have specified heterogeneous, not homogeneous? So in the previous example, a customer named Joey wants to open an account in the address so and so. So in each point, when you split the question, a customer, so customer is one table, account, savings account is another table, and address is another table. So all the different heterogeneous databases are stored or not? Yes. So a data warehouse is nothing but a place where all heterogeneous databases are stored. Now, coming to the second point, warehousing. So a generalized question: what is the difference between a process and a processing? Process is nothing but a flow, how it is happening. Processing is in order to make that flow, what is the steps we are doing in order to make? Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. So the first question is like you are going through the data warehousing, but how is it related to Datastage? Because like
nice question. So not only how it is related to learn the Datastage. So in order to do that, so when you compare that, what I told you the first point, the data should be loaded into my warehouse where we need to do some analysis. Means we need to get a detailed level of information from the whatever the example I said you. What is the example? A customer name Zoe opens a savings account at the location Binton Valley or New York. So this is the information. So when you observe this, what we are doing, first step, we are extracting the specified customer Joey. Let me show you the example. Right. How it is related to Datastage. So when you observe here, at this point of time, we are doing some analysis. What is the analysis? First, I need to, in order to extract this data, which is the specified data I need to extract. in this customer data there is a lot of information, John, Doi, Ahmad, Imran, Fahim, different persons' names will be there. So in this particular, I need to extract only the particular concern, who is John Doe, okay. And after the extraction, I need to do some transformation. I need to do something changes to the existing data. So what is the change I can do? So this John Doe is done. I need to do some filtration. So along with the John Doe name, lot of people will be there. And who is a female, I need to filter. Okay, it was filtered. So some transformations I am doing. And finally loading the data. So this process change. So when you compare, I am doing some extraction, transformation, and finally loading the data to a target which is called my warehouse. So to do this activity, so which I am saying, so data warehousing is data warehouse is nothing but a place where all different databases are stored. So in order to make that work, I am adding a function called ing processing. So which can be done by an ETL tool called Datastage. So in order to make the process work by means of some work, we are using some tool. So in order to do some extracting the data from source, doing some transformation, and finally loading the data to a target, we are using Datastage. In order to add some more information to your question, there may exist a question, why there is, as there is a lot of tools available in the market, why we need to learn the Datastage? Then compared to Informatica is there, why can't I go to Informatica, why there is a need to learn Datastage? So for this answer, Datastage is much predominantly a huge, a very important advantage is we can extract the data from any source, we can load the data to any target. Means here when you observe, is it mandatory the source is account system is there? So account level information, is it a table? It should be a table. No, it can be any system. We can track any from the any source system, and we can load the data to any target. This is the main predominant feature of Datastage, why it has a high advantage. So any source can be done, and we can load the data to any target. So source can be, so there exists a question, if my source is an XML file, and Datastage can be handled? Yes, of course. If the source is Hadoop, yes, of course Hadoop we can have. If the source is my SAP, yes, what not, everything we can configure, we can integrate in such a way, and we can extract the data, and we can load the data to the target. Another thing, what is, so any source to any target is a much important advantage. Okay, we are satisfied. Is there any other advantage? Yes. In a general fashion, whenever we are using a tool, what we will be seeing, whether we are, after we have given the input, within the less amount of time we need to get the output, isn't it? Performance tuning in a generalized way. So this Datastage is having a parallelism concept, which will be having a more important advantage. The data what you are giving at the source, it will be splitted accordingly, and it will be finally loaded to target. Now to make this, in order to learn Datastage, in order to, okay, we told that data warehouse, we got some idea, which is nothing but different databases are there. In order to perform this activity, we are doing some extraction, transformation, and loading the data to target, which can be done by ETL tool Datastage. Okay, fine. And why to learn Datastage? Any source feature to any target feature is okay, it is also fine. And the third point is parallelism concept. As within less amount of time we can retrieve the information. Okay. And to go to the concept, what is a data warehousing? So a data warehousing is nothing but a data warehousing. Let me write down some information.
And Sai, sorry to interrupt you one more time.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, consultants, they just need to know a little bit more on the data stage, and they need to know on the architecture of the.
Yeah, sure. Before that, I need to give some introduction. I want, it's not only to clear no need to clear whatever the masks that are existing in order to learn the data stage. Okay, we need to dig into that. After this point, I will be skipping into the data stage more detail.
Oh, okay. The reason why I'm sharing is like we just had short time, right? This is a demonstration.
Yeah, sure. Just within.
They wants to know the prospects of data stage and all about the stuff like that, job opportunities and all this stuff.
Sure. I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So to start with the data warehouse, I told that it is nothing but a collection of different databases. So I am adding a data warehouse plus ing, a processing. So what is this processing? In order to perform this activity, the data warehousing is simply nothing but a place where the end user can make decision, isn't it? After seeing that entire in that box, he can take a spontaneous decision. So in order to do that spontaneous decision making, first, is it required to do some analysis on that? Yes. In order to do that analysis, we are using some ETL tool, which is calling it as my data stage. Okay, it is fine. So we will be getting some finalized value, a customer name Joey, which will be getting some value. But a user who is the CEO, he didn't understand the query, he didn't understand all stuff. So whatever the output we are getting, it needs to be generated in form of reports. How it can be done? In the diagram, in the pictorial form, we need to retrieve. In order to do that, reporting. So which the final conclusion is ETL prospective through means of Datastage, we are doing some analysis. After analysis is done, for that analysis data, in order to generate a report, in order to make the entire final thing in the diagram, there is some reporting tools like Tableau, Microsoft. So all together call it as a data warehouse. So if anything, what is a data warehousing? It's nothing but ETL plus reporting. What is ETL? Through means of Datastage we are doing. What is reporting? In order to make it a diagrammatic flow. So how we can make a decision making? In order to make a spontaneous, you have a diagrammatic part. Yes. So this diagrammatic part can be done by reporting. So ETL plus reporting. Now, to make you more clear what is a data stage, how the ETL tool it will be, let me navigate you in that part. In order to this data stage, what is the this data stage is a better advantage tool which is having the any source to any target. Why there is a need? It was clarified, and let me introduce about a data stage. Data stage is one of the IBM tool. Initially, whenever the framework, whatever the tool we will be using, it's better to have a which will be running on a parallel environment. So to make you what is meant by a client and server architecture. To start with the client and server architecture, I would like to say here how the architecture of data stage it is. Architecture of data stage. In a real time, whatever the technology, how the architecture of a tool it will be is, suppose I want to see a movie. I want to watch a movie on my laptop. How you will be watching? Without one thing, the laptop is useless. Can I call it as an operating system? Yes. After installing in my laptop, I need to install my Windows 7, Windows 8, whatever it may be. So in that operating system, after it was done, after drivers are installed, everything, then I will be starting with my watching movie, all the stuff. So in a similar way, operating system on my laptop, which is called as a server. On that server, I am doing something, watching a movie, downloading a file, whatever the stuff. In the similar time, in the real-time perspective, we are installing some components. What components? Some softwares or different things. On which place? On my operating system. This is called as a server. On the server, which is called my parent, which is a big box. On that big box, I am installing my Datastage tool, which is called a client component. So a Datastage, which is a IBM tool called a client component, which is installed on a server. So as it is installed on the server, will there be any interaction between the server and client? Yes, of course. As it is installed on the server, there should be an interaction between the client and server. So it is the data stage is a client and server architecture. It is a client and server architecture. It is a bidirectional. So whatever the work we are doing on data stage, at the back end, it will be replicating on my server in a similar fashion. If the OS is not operating, whatever the movie I am watching here, at the back end in the OS, it is doing something work there. So it is at the point we are watching the movie. In a similar fashion, there is a client and server architecture. And one more thing, this Datastage, which is a client and server architecture, and introduction to Datastage. About the introduction, a theoretical part, a Datastage which is first initially, it was started by Essential Corporation. So what they have done is, they had made the entire setup within the, instead of making a user friendly like a client mission and a server mission differently, the entire they have done work on a server which there is no like a GUI interface, graphical user interface, which is like a drag and drop nowadays, which was not there. So which is high complicated, which is doing everything on a server. So it is they think it's a complicated. Later on, IBM has acquired those Datastage from the Essential Corporation by making some modification. What they have done, they splitted the server into one thing and the client, which is purely Datastage, such that which can be user friendly, which can be done easily. So this is how the framework. Now on what missions I can connect to the server, what type of server, Unix server, Windows, mainframes, we can connect. So the client mission, which is my Datastage, will be run at the backend, which we kicked off from the backend from the server. So the simple words is, a Datastage architecture is a client and a server architecture. And the purpose, what is the other tools in order to interact? Okay, I am taking my Datastage, I am doing something work, I am interacting with the server. So in order to interact with the server, what it is required? Data is required or not? Data is nothing but database, Oracle database, different database. So we are taking the database through means of client, which is my Datastage. We are doing some analysis and finally loading the data to target. Now, in order to go a realistic, in order to show you, I would like to show you how the Datastage, what the work we will be doing in a generalized, just outline 5 minutes of time. When you take the consideration, when you observe the SDLC, software development lifecycle in the real time, what they will be giving, they will be giving some requirements. After the requirement is given, we need to prepare some mapping specifications, and finally we need to start the work. Now the same fashion. So when you observe the data warehouse, by using the Datastage tool, I need to start my work. Where exactly I can start the work? So in order to start a work, there is a tool called a Datastage Designer. So this Datastage, which is nothing but a box, which is having a different components. In order to start the work, we are having a tool which is called a Datastage Designer. In order to see whatever the work, what we want to see the result, we are having some tool called a Datastage Director, where you can see, compile, run the logs, see the logs. In order to administrator, who is giving the permissions, all the permissions, like we can say within specifically related to Datastage, where he can create the project, and a manager who will coordinate all the things. So in the realistic, how the Datastage it will be is, after you have installed the Datastage on your machine. So this is the diagrammatic part, how the Datastage it is. So when you click on the Datastage environment, where it will be asking, there are some different versions available in the market, like 8.5, 8.7, 9.1, 11.1, different versions. There are some enhancements done. From 8.5 to 8.7, they have done some modification in the tool. Again, some different changes. We will be discussing with the going on. And these are the framework, how where exactly we are starting with the Datastage. In order to start with that, is it mandatory? Is it mandatory? In a software development life cycle is nothing but to work on a project. Is it mandatory in order to start with the project, in order to work with the tool available? Is it mandatory the project is to be created or not? Yes, there is some project which is created, okay, and that project I have given some credentials. Okay, just an overview how the diagram, oh, this is the realistic, how the thing. To make it easy, why Datastage is easy, I need to show you. See here, so this I have installed my Datastage on my operating system at the backend, which is running on my server. So this is the reason I am calling it as my, see here, a parallel environment, Datastage which is my parallel environment. So these are the entire different flows. Why Datastage is easy is just a drag and drop. if I want to interact with a file, suppose my source is a sequential file, okay, I want to do some transformation. These are the diagrams, some transformations where there is some tools, different stages are there, where I can do some different uh, do some transformation. I can just drag and drop and finally loading the data to a target. Just a simple drag here, drop here, and a link to give a link here how the data is flowing. Now see here, just a simple thing. Whatever we are doing, we are extracting the data from the source, doing some transformation, finally loading the data to a target. As the tool is such a simply fashion, we can have an easy to learning of this technology is very easy. And to one more concept, what is the available market? Okay, I'm learning the data stage here. How I can rate myself, how I can expose myself to the available external market. See, as this data stage is high secure. Why it is high secure? It is an IBM tool. And data stage is much fast when compared to other tools. And data stage can integrate with any tools, Hadoop, Teradata, whatnot. Every source we can integrate. So, and it is easy to learn. So, the external market is also very good, such that the scope and the visibility to get the job is also fine. Because as IBM has created the software, which is licensed software, as it is a security breach will not be there, which will be used by many organizations. And what are the companies that are using this data sets? Moreover, the more market in US market as well as the Australian market, in the both the retail domain, health insurance, logistics, whatnot, every domain will be having this. And this is how the outline it is, and how my course. Okay, you are got some idea, and let me you got some idea on data warehouse, you got some idea on data stage, how the architecture it is, how we will be going some how the ETL architecture in the going on, and why to learn the data stage, what are the concepts, and one more thing, as a presenter, as a trainer, how I will be giving the training.
Try one quick question here.
Yeah, please.
Since you have got a source file, transformer, and a target file, can you just run a job and show them how the data is flowing?
Yeah, sure, yes. See, let me take a small example. I am creating, let me whether the files, some sample files, you drive, files, right. Let me take a small example to show you how the data can be run in a realistic way. So let us assume there is a question as per the SDLC software development lifecycle. There is a requirement given. Boss, you need to develop a data stage job such that we are having a data from a file and we need to load the data to a target, which is nothing but a file. Both are file format. Suppose we need to load the question is also like this. We need to extract the data from a source, which is my table, and we need to load the data to file. Yes, we can do. So let me start with the source, a sequential file. Okay. As the ETL process, what the question, why there is a, after the data warehousing concept, I am adding a processing. So the process is this. In order to work this process, I am using an ETL tool. So extracting the data from the source, having a transformation, okay, and giving a link. So there is a question, what type of data can flow in the link? In a generally, when you are giving the data, what is the format that system can understand? A binary format, 0 and 1 format. In a generalized way, the data stays understandable language to interact with the server, a client and server is orchestrate format. We will be discussing that one. A link, I am giving the link, and finally I need to load the data to the target. Okay, fine. So let me take a small job. So in order to take that, I need to have a source data or not? Okay, let me take a source data. Notepad, in a notepad, I am creating a source pad. Employee ID, employee name, and his location. Employee name, why you need to take some out, Kumar. And sorry, employee ID is 100. Kumar, e-name is Kumar, and the location is Hyderabad. 200 Sai, and the location is Bangalore. A small data file, save as, I'm saving in some different path in E drive file format. I'm saving in the format of sample.txt. Okay, the file is saved. Now I need to load the data to target. I need to see some transformation. I need to load the data to target. So first in a sequential file, when you click on this, first it will be asking how the file path it is. The sample file path, browse for file, sample.txt. Okay. And in order to start this, is the file should understand. Whenever I have given a file like this type of format, is it mandated to give the structure or not? Of course, in a notepad we are specifying here. When you observe in that notepad, you have given some structure. One second. When you observe here, I have given the structure. What is the structure? Employee ID, employee name, location. But the data stage should also understand, array boss, this is the structure. So in order to give the structure, there is navigation, just a navigation you will be understand. Import, I am importing the structure, table definition, sequential file, table definition. So in which directory? In the files directory, okay. There is some sample.txt where I need to import the structure. So you might be confused what the structure exactly will be. It is nothing but the metadata. See, this is how the metadata, employee ID, employee name, where, location, all the metadata will be imported. So after the file is given in the columns, I am loading my metadata. Load, table definitions, sequential files in the different format. The work we have done, practice different students, sample.txt. Say employee ID, employee name, location, where we are loading the metadata. See, when we are loaded the metadata, entire thing it was changed to in a link like this. So, okay, we can view the. Can we view the data? Let me view the data here. So, in the data stage, there are some different components. The first component I opened is Datastage Designer. This like this. So, what we are doing in the Datastage Designer? We are doing some work. So, depending upon the requirement, low-level design document, all the specification, I am starting the work. This is how it will be. So, after the work is done, what we need to do? We need to run and see how it is running or not. In order to do that, there is another component called a director. So, Datastage is a suite component, which consists of a Datastage Designer is one suite, Datastage Director is one thing. It's taking a long time. Might be, let me reload it again. Might be my system got stuck set somewhere. Use import. Just I am importing once again due to the around some lot of files it's overrated. Sample.txt sequential files sample 1 2 3. I'm renaming it as it is defined by other component. Let me take other sample file. Customer data. I'm just changing my name because as it is referenced by other data, might be which was okay. I change my name. I need to import by data. Import table definitions, sequential file table definitions. I need to import from the files. So okay, in the import from the files, I need to customer data. I'm importing the customer data. First line is a column name. I'm defining whether how it is defined. Let me import it. Import. I'm closing it. Done. So let me import the metadata here. Columns, load, customer data. Okay. Okay. Let me view the data. 1 second. So this is how we can view the data, and finally we will be loading the data to some transformation as I need to see here the data is there. Is it mandatory to give that link to here or not? Yes, I have given the data, and finally I am loading the data to a target. So to the target, if you want to, see the column names are directly given here. Why this came here? Because the link we had specified. So okay, let me give the target name as some different name. File, browse for file. Instead of customer data, I'm changing to customer data 123. So after this is done, what we need to do? I have designed the job. I need to compile, save the job or not? File, save as. Where I am saying this is like we will be discussing this. We will be calling it the repository. All the stuff we will be discussing. The jobs. I am giving it customer job. Save. Now, this is the tool Datastage Designer where I am seeing. Now coming to the second one, Datastage Director. So once this is done, is it mandatory to compile or not? Yes, I am compiling here. So designing the job, compiling the job where I am doing in this, and after this I need to run the job. So the job is also successfully compiled. Now I am running the job from the designer. Not only that, once the job is run, we can have another tool. Let me show you. See here, there is one more tool called all programs. There is, we learned about IBM within the Datastage suite component, which will be stored in IBM information server. There is a director. What is the purpose of director? See, when you observe here in the document I showed in the document, Datastage is a component which is having a designer where we will be working. For the work, we need to see how the work it is. What are the logs like that? In order to see that, see here, there are some different jobs. What is the job name we have created here? The jobs. What is the job name? Where is my job? Customer. See, in the customer, if I want to see the logs you can see or not. So the purpose of directory is to see the logs. So we will be discussing each and every component in the Datastage Designer different stages. If you want to have a source is a sequential file, how to work with it. See how the logs it is running. So which is showing the colors, the navigation file new. Okay. Different parallel jobs. I can see the parallel job. Each and every stage view, palette. So different stages. If my source is a table, how to interact with the table? Different tables. ODBC connector, net is the Oracle connector. We will be interacting and we will be placing this. So a final thing is how the as you got an idea of data warehouse, you got an idea of data storage, how the tool and why to learn the data storage, how it is different from other tools. And there might be a question to you, how you are giving the process. My thing is, whenever we start with the class, I will be sharing, okay, this is the class tomorrow, these are the topics we will be discussing. Whenever the topics we will be discussing, I will be sharing to you the each and every document. These are all the documents. So guys, tomorrow we will be discussing this topic. I will be in prior, I will be sharing the document to you, and once the document is shared, you need to go a thorough understanding, and after tomorrow in coming class I will be asking some questions, how you can what are the things you have gone through, and after that I will be explaining with each and every example for everything. For data warehousing concept, each and every concept for every example. And not only that, once we are done with all the stages, we will be starting with a retail domain project. I will be explaining the retail domain project with the what is meant by SDLC, what is the domain, what is the terms, everything we will be discussing. And finally, there is a required, if there is any candidates like different, we can provide the different stuff. How to face, one more thing is, everything I have gone in practice, I have seen my students who have been training with me, they have gone the practice, they have gone with each and every stuff technically. But the main project is how to showcase yourself at the interview point, where I will be giving, where you can take just a mock-up interview, where I will be planning to you, where you can have the stuff. That's all, guys. This is the conclusion. Hope any doubts, anything extra needed from your side?
A couple of questions.
Yeah, please.
Just tell them like how this tool is. Is it an open source or do you need to buy a tool, and how do you practice it?
Actually, it's a IBM licensed tool. In order to install in your PC, where I will be providing a link to you, where you can access through the link, where you can install this tool. Actually, I told it's an IBM tool. Whatever the IBM tool is, a highly secure. Whenever it's an open source, where we can have a directive from the software, we can download it. As it is highly secure, as it is IBM tool, highly secure, this tool is having a high demand in the market. In order to, one more thing, for the installation process, I am providing a link through your Gmail ID, and what is the configuration required is your laptop should be of 4 GB, minimum of 4 GB RAM, and if it is 500 GB hard disk, which is fine, and the specification, that's all you need to have your laptop. And is it compatible to OS laptop or the other things? So I advise you to, will be sending you direct VMware link. To this VMware link, you can access on anything, IAV, IAPL or different configurations. Right? And
the other thing, like what would be the course content and how much time will it take to complete the course?
The course content is, the main thing is, actually there are some candidates which it's all depending upon, if you read a normal track, for the normal track process, which will be from 40 to 45 days. If it is a fast track, it will be of 15 to 20. The daily the class duration, if it is a 45 days, daily it's a 1.5 hour. This depends upon the convenient timings. And if it is a fast track, you will be required, it's a daily 2 and 2.5 hours. And what are the tools which I will be giving outline? I will be giving an outline on Linux. I will be giving an outline of SQL, the basic outline. Datastage, data warehouse.
And also one other thing, Sai, since you said like there are 4 different clients in Datastage, so what kind of jobs can they track?
So what kind of, there is a Datastage designer, we are developing the job. So Datastage director, I am just compiling and viewing the log. So Datastage administration, admin-like activities. What admin-like activities? So to create the project, for the creation of project, what are the permissions I need to give? What are the, all the, simply say the settings, all the setting level activities can be done by admin. And what type of admin manager? So in order to move from one environment to another environment, like import and export, we will be discussing all the stuff. We will be showing all the stuff. We will be moving on from one level to another level. We will be having an idea.
And how about the job prospects in this tool? Like, how are they? Are they good, very good, excellent?
I didn't get it. Could you please repeat that?
Now, what about the job prospects? Are they good, excellent, or very good? What do you think? Like
the job prospects is, how we'll be showing is, it's starting with a each simple market is first coming to job prospects within the tool. The job, how we'll be dividing each and every job is like simple job, next will be going somewhat medium and complex. And in the external market, however the job prospect is in the external market is, in the master is, it's very good. And nowadays, openly speaking, IBM is having some project which is taking, and Wells Fargo, UHG, not only different retail clients, everyone using Datastage. Its market is very good now.
So what sectors are using?
Retail domain, different retail domains. I'll be showing a retail domain project. Apart from that, in the market, external world, there is some retail domain projects, banking domain, insurance domain, whatnot, logistics. Everyone is, yeah.
Does everyone have a Datastage, say like a healthcare, financial?
Yeah. Healthcare can use the Datastage. See, why? A simple example. Everyone needs a report. In order to make the report, he needs to do analysis. Some transformation. In order to do the transformation, extraction, transformation work, he needs to do that.
Okay. Teja and Srivalli, feel free to ask him like if you need more prospects from Datastage to Sai, we'll be ready to answer you.
Just hello. Just give me 2 minutes. We'll be starting the session. Just 2 minutes. Guys, if you wrap up quickly, I had another session where I was going to plan a taboo session. Other guys are waiting.
Just
if there is any questions,
two consultants talk to you like if they need something.
Yeah, sure. Please go ahead, please.
Teja and Srivalli.
Yeah, I'm okay with the class.
Okay, you need any info regarding the jobs and or regarding the tool, anything like that? Ask him.
Okay, I just want to know like how like the jobs, how are they right now in the market? Like,
yeah, I told you no, to how the market, how the job is, it's all depending upon the project. The Datastage, initially openly speaking, from the past of 1.5 years back, the market is done. Now it is very good. Not excellent. I can't say it's an excellent because every tool, the new existing tool will be excellent. It's very good. You can have the job. No need to, because IBM is acquiring a big project. UHG is acquiring a big project. It's Oracle. You need to have the basic idea of Oracle experience.
okay.
And you need to have the Unix knowledge as well. Why? Because it's a server and client architecture.
Okay.
Yeah, please, other guys, any doubts? If you can
Yeah,
ask me.
one more question.
Please.
I mean, what's the future of Datastage?
What the future of Datastage means when compared to future in the sense to have till the transformations is going on, we need to do the transformations in a simplified way. Till the transformation existing, till then the Datastage can be. Because we need to do some transformation in the realistic world. We can't directly dig the data and we can't give the output here. So till the transformations is there. And one more thing to make you more clear, till there is if you want to extract, nowadays the market is going on where I need to dig without giving SQL query like R analytics, like called MongoDB. So we can also extract some modifications, some different patchworks is going on where the modification, whether to suppose I mean to say that in order to interact with MongoDB, can Datastage interact? Yes, of course they are doing some modification. Till the openly speaking, till the transformations are there, till then the Datastage can be.
And how different is it from MicroStrategy? Because
so I told you one thing. Data warehousing is nothing but BI, ETL plus BI. ETL can be done for Datastage. So BI, what is the inputs of MicroStrategy will be giving? Is it a database query or not? So the output result, to simply say that the result coming through ETL will be given as an input to the MicroStrategy. So the first person is ETL, Datastage Informatica. After the output has come from the Datastage ETL perspective, the query, whatever the query will be giving, what are the results we are getting, we are generating the reports based on the query. So those analysis, after the analysis is done, I need to make a reports. Those reports can be done through MicroStrategy, Tableau, or stuff.
So Sai, you can say like Datastage is a kind of development job and MicroStrategy is a kind of report.
Yeah, that's what, ETL plus reporting. So development process.
This is a development, that is a reporting.
Yeah, fine. Please give me just 2 minutes. Okay. Yeah, please go ahead. Any other doubts, please, guys?
This is basically development, and that is an reporting, right?
Where we will be doing all the development activities in the datastage. After the development is done, in order to see it, to simply say pictorial representation. In order to have picture representation, we will be having a reporting tool like MicroStrategy, Tableau.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Sorry for this. We can wrap up for other questions as there is other students who are waiting in Tableau.
No, that's fine. I'm good. I'm good with whatever you've told me.
Yeah.
I don't have any more questions.
Yeah. Thank you.
I will get back to you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.